We are the 7-Star Sisters committed to a culture of peace. We each have an action of peace for you to follow. Mine is dive deep into compassion, listen to the other, and go from I to we to one.
Practice the peace wave. A minute of silence, a moment of peace. At 12 noon every day in every time zone. And greet strangers with a smile. It's the universal language of goodwill.
Every breath we take is an act of peace when we do world peace breathing. It's so simple. We inhale thinking world and exhale thinking peace. Let's breathe. Inhale world. Exhale peace.
My action for peace is a global silent minute every day for global cooperation, peace, and freedom. Join me right now for 1 second of peace. And every day at 9 p.m. GMT, 1 minute for peace.
Hello, world. Join us in Actions for Peace. Starting with, let's think it. May peace prevail on earth. Let's say it. May peace prevail on earth. And let's also live it. May peace prevail on earth. And now let's say it all together. May peace prevail on earth.
Now more than ever, the world needs our joy. Let us all together, all around the world, right where you are right now, jump for peace. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay!
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our 7-Star Sisters offering today, celebrating the International Day of Peace. We're so grateful you're here, and we are just so stoked for this opportunity to share how we each are doing things to build the culture of peace in our lives and in our communities. I am really honored to be beside all of our beloved Star Sisters, and what we're doing is we're cultivating and co-creating media and programs and events around the world that are activating peace in each of our hearts and peace in our communities, in our homes. And so we're so glad that you're here with us today. You're going to hear from each of our Star Sisters today. We're going to begin by introducing you to Monica Willard. Monica is an incredible peace builder, and she is with United Religions Initiative. I'm going to pass it over to Monica, who is going to share some beautiful offerings, explain what we saw in the very opening video about the peace bell, and also offer the nuclear prayer. So I'll turn it over to Monica now. Thank you, Monica, and welcome.
Thank you, Becky, and I thank Tammy for her heavenly music at the very beginning. And now I get to bring it to the global level at the United Nations. And I have a few pictures that are going to come up with me as I share. The theme this year for the International Day of Peace is Actions for Peace, our ambitions for the global goals. And last week, the International Day of Peace was celebrated at the United Nations with over 800 people, mostly youth, sharing their works and actions for peace. And I get to share my action with you after we see the UN for just a minute, because the youth work so hard and we're able to be here together to share their actions. It's recorded on UN TV. And the flags of the world were sent messages of peace from the United Nations. And I ask, we'll be able to do that later here. My message is a world free of nuclear weapons. And my way of acting for it, one way, is by prayer. So I'm going to share the nuclear prayer with you. It was written by William Swing, the Right Reverend William Swing, who founded the United Religions Initiative. And he wrote this prayer for our small group, Voices for a World Free of Nuclear Weapons. The beginning and the end are in your hands, O Creator of the universe, and in our hands you have placed the fate of this planet. We who are tested by having both creative and destructive power in our free will, turn to you in sober fear and in intoxicating hope. We ask for your guidance and to share in your imagination in our deliberations about the use of nuclear force. Help us to lift the fog of atomic darkness that hovers so pervasively over our earth, your earth, so that soon all eyes may see life magnified by your pure light. Bless all of us who wait today for your presence and who dedicate ourselves to achieve your intended peace and rightful equilibrium on earth, in the name of all that is holy and all that is hoped. And part of my hope for you today, each of you listening to this, is that you not only pray for nuclear weapons abolition, but that you take some action, call for no first use, contact your politicians, and add your prayers. And I always end with, may peace prevail on earth. And I turn it over to Nina Meyerhoff, who has been with the International Day of Peace as long as I have and longer, and she is with One Humanity Institute. Nina, please share your amazing work for peace.
Unmute, Nina.
Yeah, okay. I'm so happy to be here with my sisters. Thank you, Monica. Yes, I've been doing the International Day of Peace with a focus for over 20 years. And originally, when it first began, I went to all the missions and asked them to select a young person to come from the country of their origin to the UN. And I brought over 50 young people who went to stay at the United Nations International School. We slept overnight there. They slept in sleeping bags on the floor. And then we went to the UN, and the first meetings were held in the General Assembly in those days, not anymore. And what happened? We were each able to give a short speech. One girl from Australia fell asleep constantly because her timing was off. Well, we poked her and had her speak. She was wonderful. Later on, what I did as director of 10 schools is I brought youth from Vermont, and they came down. We would go at midnight. We'd arrive a little before 8 in the morning, exhausted, change on the bus and run to the UN. But it was an amazing experience for these young people to be from a rural state and to have that experience, just, to make it real when you study the UN. It was incredible. And then when we went back, we made a feedback loop. In other words, we met with the young people and they shared their experiences, but they also then studied the structure of the UN. It became a really viable learning curriculum. And then lastly, when I moved, I started working as the English as second language director and brought young refugee students to the UN. And they bust down, and they were from Senegal, from Nepal, from India, from all around the world. And it was such an important experience for them. Why? Because they'd always been treated here as second-class citizens. And now they were relevant, and they became not the stars of the program, but they felt that they were empowered to be a star. And that's what's so important. So the International Day of Peace, with the bell ringing and the flag ceremony and sharing stories of success, is so important. And I'm so glad that the International Day of Peace can be part of the week of peace and the 99 days of peace. So thank you. And now I'd like to invite Tez, my sister, who is head of Pathways to Peace and really has taken on an immense role because she has replaced Avon Madison, who was the creator and the honored person to make all of this happen. She totally dedicated her life. So Tez, I look to you and thank you.
Oh, Nina, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And we are so delighted to be here and celebrating the International Day of Peace with you. And we call it Peace Day. So I'm going to take you back just a little bit in history. What a glorious day it was in 1981 when the United Nations unanimously passed the resolution establishing the International Day of Peace. It was a miracle. Yet, as we know, miracles often take dedicated and loving effort. And so it is for Pathways to Peace. And for my sisters here, that Peace Day is synonymous with honoring our beloved Pathways to Peace founder and president, Avon Madison. Avon ascended almost 2 years ago, but certainly is with us in spirit as we celebrate today. Avon is credited with leading efforts to establish the UN resolution in 1981, but she did not do it alone. Avon knew the power of radical collaboration, and she inspired many peace builders to join the efforts leading up to the adoption of the UN resolution, both within civil society and at the UN, including her good friend, Assistant Attorney General of the United Nations, Robert Mueller. And together, on that fateful day in 1981, magic happened, the birth of the International Day of Peace. And what started with a handful of dedicated people is now celebrated by hundreds of millions of people around our planet. Let us join that energy in this moment, that celebration. But was it magic? Or was it the leading of the heart, the knowing that the time was right? and that inner belief that peace is possible. That same flame that burns bright in the hearts of all of us today. Some of my sisters here today were there in that movement for Peace Day, and all of us here loved Avon, honored her, and joined her in making peace happen. And when we honor one, we honor all. And so it is that we gather here today in celebration of Peace Day and to honor our beloved Avon, each of us inspired to carry the legacy of peace forward using our own unique gifts and with our hearts aflame. In 1983, Avon established the Peace Wave. She said the Peace Wave would allow us to make Peace Day every day. The Peace Wave is simply a minute of silence and a moment of peace, celebrated around the world at 12 noon in every time zone. It's a simple pause for peace, and we encourage you to join the Peace Wave every day at 12 noon in your time zone. So let's just take a moment right now to practice the Peace Wave together. Let's begin by just slowing our breath. And then focus on our heart for that moment of silence, that moment of peace. Thank you, and may peace prevail on earth. It's now my great pleasure to introduce my sacred sister, Jennifer Kim, who is from the Peace School in Chicago and is an amazing person, woman of peace. Jennifer?
Thank you, Tezekiah. Thank you, all my sisters. Thank you, everyone who's here. You know, I'm reminded how this circle of sisters probably would not have come to be without the International Day of Peace. Some of us knew each other individually. All of us had been doing peace work, but it was Peace Week and the International Day of Peace that brought us together during the pandemic to put a program together for the IDP. And now we are such a deeply connected circle. And that's what the International Day of Peace is, bringing people together in the name of peace. We find ways to collaborate. We find ways to connect. So I'm so grateful to all my sisters. Peace Day in Chicago began earlier, back in 1978. That's when the founder of the Peace School asked the mayor to proclaim Peace Day and to ask our citizens to observe a minute of silence for peace. That proclamation grew to proclamations all over the country. We wrote to mayors and governors in the 70s and 80s to proclaim Peace Day, to ask people to observe that minute for peace. And we got all 50 states, over 540 cities that sent us those proclamations. So that anchoring of peace in Chicago helped us to become a United Nations Peace Messenger Organization, which was a very great honor. And also how thrilled we were, as Tess spoke about, when the UN created the International Day of Peace. What a joy. And so our celebrating the International Day of Peace, Peace Day in Chicago, is a celebration. We have a public event with music and cultural dances, people from all cultures, all walks of life. We have international diplomats combined with third graders and all ages of students. This year's celebration, just this past Monday, we had, I think, 1,500 students with us in a public plaza, along with more than 50 20 international diplomats, and so many others. The highlight has always been, for decades now, the World Peace Flag Ceremony. Many of you are familiar with that, and my dear friend Fumi will be telling us more in just a minute. But we have flag bearers from all different walks of life, from the cultures representing their own country, and we all call out peace for every country of the world. Also on Peace Day, we've worked hard to involve schools. Not everyone can come to this event. It's a public daytime event on a school day. So since 2008, the 30th anniversary of Peace Day here, we've provided materials to every Chicago public school asking that they do some type of action for peace today on the International Day of Peace. So that means right now in schools somewhere in our city, there are kids right at this moment engaging in peace. What are they doing? Maybe they're doing art projects or writing a poem. Maybe they're building one of those giant peace dove puppets that Dr. Jane Goodall has inspired people to build. Some are folding origami cranes with the Peace Crane Project. There's so many thoughtful things that are going on. And one of my favorite stories was a public school across from a private school. And those elementary schools never interacted. The kids just played with, the kids from their own school. The public school invited the private school to do a Peace Day event. They all gathered outside. They made quilts that they exchanged with each other. And they shook hands across the street. In a long line, all the kids shook hands. They became one neighborhood now, not two different schools. That's the International Day of Peace. That's Peace Day. But one final practice it's our core practice at the Peace School. It's a practice that we share on Peace Day with the students. That's peace breathing. We'll just breathe. Inhale, thinking world. Exhale, thinking peace. Inhale, world. Exhale, peace. So now I get to turn it over to another beautiful sister who I've known the longest since the 80s, right, Fumi? Beautiful Fumi John Stewart, the executive director of May Peace Prevail on Earth International. My dear friend and sister, Fumi, it's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And greetings to all of you from around the world on the International Day of Peace. Millions of people around the world are joining us, one heart, one mind, one spirit, to ignite that divine spark of peace that lives in each of our hearts. We demonstrate every day, and especially today, the power of peace through unity. And our common prayer and invocation is, may peace prevail on earth. So it was over 75 years ago that these simple words, may peace prevail on earth, was authored by the late Masahisa Goi of Japan, who, after the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, said that Japan has an important role to send a huge message of peace out to the world. May peace prevail on earth. And now this message has been embraced the world over, with peace poles planted on every continent, serving as acupunctures of the earth, to activate the spirit of peace and for the healing of Mother Earth. So please join me now in raising our hearts as one and our voices as one, to travel the continents of the world, to ignite the spirit of peace, especially today on the International Day of Peace. Please join us as we present this very short video. May peace prevail on earth.
Europe. May peace be in Europe. May peace prevail on earth. The Middle East. May peace be in the Middle East. May peace prevail on earth. Asia. May peace be in Asia. May peace prevail on earth. The Pacific. May peace be in the Pacific. May peace prevail on earth. Africa. May peace be in Africa. May peace prevail on earth. South America. May peace be in South America. May peace prevail on earth. North and Central America. May peace be in North and Central America. May peace prevail on earth. The indigenous nations. May peace be in all the indigenous nations. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you so much, everyone, for adding your prayers to ignite the divine spark of peace in the hearts of humanity. And now I would like to invite our dear sister, Reverend Becky Suzik of Joy Fuel, to offer her blessings on this day.
Thank you so much, Fumi. I'm so grateful to be bringing through this video the New River, which may be the oldest river in the world. It flows in Turtle Island in Virginia upon land that is beside the Peace Pentagon. Many of us don't know there is actually a pentagon dedicated to peace, the Peace Pentagon. So here we are beside this flowing river. And I'm so grateful for the work that I'm connected with in the ways in which we amplify beauty, the ways we co-create and we honor our creativity, the ways we connect our hearts and our hands in action towards creating kindness upon this earth with each other and with the earth. I want to take a moment for us all to take a deep breath together in joy. And exhaling in gratitude. Each of us is a gift upon this earth, a gift to ourselves and to each other. Our life is precious. I'd love to teach you all a song if you don't know this song. And for those of you in Zoom rooms watching this, please sing where you are, but remain muted because we don't need that cacophony. But I want you to sing along with me this song, Peace Like a River. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like the ocean, I've got joy like the ocean, I've got joy like the ocean in my soul. I've got joy like the ocean, I've got joy like the ocean, I've got joy like the ocean in my soul. I've got love like a fountain. I've got love like a fountain. I've got love like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like a fountain. I've got love like a fountain. I've got love like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like the ocean. I've got peace, love, and joy like the ocean. I've got peace, love, and joy like the ocean in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like the ocean. I've got peace, love, and joy like the ocean. I've got peace, love, and joy like the ocean in my soul. Oh, let us all remember the joy of singing. Whether we consider ourselves singers or not, we all can sing. We are so alive. We are here upon this earth. We are creative beings here to express ourselves and unite in love, peace, and joy. Thank you all for being here. It is now my joy to introduce my dear sister, Dot Maver, from the Global Silent Minute and the Peace Academy. We are so grateful that you are joining us, Dot, to share with us a Global Silent Minute. So I will pass it over to you, dear Dot Maver. Thank you for being here, Dot, one of our star sisters.
Thank you, Becky. Love to the song and love to all my star sisters. Hello, everyone. With our theme in 2023, Reorient to the Compass of Truth Through Silence, it is a joy to offer a Global Silent Minute, a story of radical collaboration on this International Day of Peace, as we take actions for peace, as we welcome the spirit of peace. Let us be mindful that the spirit of peace is also known as the spirit of equilibrium. May we realize that balance of living in right human relationship with self, others, and all of life on this beautiful planet we all call home. It's the very definition of peace. The Global Silent Minute was inspired by the Big Ben Silent Minute. In 1917, Wellesley Tudor Pole was with a fellow British officer on a battlefield just outside Jerusalem. The officer shared a vision. He said, "I will not live through the war, but you will. And I can see a greater war coming that will be fought on land, air, and sea." He urged Tudor Pole to provide an opportunity for him and millions like him to assist from the other side. He said, "Lend us a moment, and through your silence, give us an opportunity. The power of silence is greater than you know." He died on the battlefield the very next day. And 23 years later, in 1940, Wellesley Tudor Pole met his comrade's request. London was being bombed, and he initiated the Big Ben Silent Minute with the radical collaboration of Churchill, the British Parliament, BBC News, and the Big Ben Trust, supported by U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Each night at 9 p.m., Big Ben would sound its bells, and the BBC radio would go silent for 1 minute. After the war ended, a high-ranking German officer said one of the reasons they lost the war was that they couldn't find a counter for the Allies' secret weapon, which was preceded by ringing of bells and called the Silent Minute. Tudor Pole urged leaders to harness the power of silence in selfless service to be used for the benefit of all, to bring an end to all war, to bring peace to humankind and all life. In these times, this powerful story continues to unfold as we observe a daily global silent minute at 9 p.m. GMT. Silence as action in sacred unity as we call for global cooperation, peace, and freedom. So let us prepare to enter the silence together, a silent minute of radical collaboration on the International Day of Peace. We take a deep breath and activate the spirit of peace within our own hearts. And we link our fiery hearts across distance around the globe. And now we take another moment. We invite all those on the other side of the veil to cooperate with us in our call for peace. And when you hear the Tibetan singing bowl, we have entered 1 minute of silence as action in sacred unity. May peace prevail on earth. Over to you, dear Fumi.
What a beautiful celebration this has been from our 7 sisters. It's such deep, deep, infinite gratitude. It's been such a joy. And I'd like to mention that, we are heading to 12 p.m. East Coast time. And we're also going to be part of this celebration coming up live from Union Square in New York. It is hosted by Paul Slaticus of Good News Corporation, and it's the first ever 100% powered concert, 100% solar powered concert, broadcasted from Times Square. So infinite gratitude to Paul and all his work for putting this together. It will be a 5-hour event, which will live stream right after our event here today. So at the big highlight will be the Pause for Peace, which will be led by Ringo Starr. And this is a feature part of Peace Week and a part of a long celebrated Peace Wave, also which we celebrate at noon on Peace Day. So there's also going to be virtual messages from legacy peacemakers. Of course, I mentioned Ringo Starr, but we will also have the opportunity to listen to Leonardo DiCaprio, Michael Douglas, Jane Goodall, Sir Paul McCartney, Oprah Winfrey, Deepak Chopra, Joe Dispenza, Stevie Wonder, Dionne Warwick, and so many more. So this is a very star-studded Peace Day celebration. And please also stay tuned to our Seven Sisters presentation as well. So please join us right after this broadcast. So why don't we all say together, Peace Sisters? I think, Becky, I'm not sure. Are we closing now?
Yes, we are. We are. We're so, so grateful. And so we have our Star Sisters here all spotlit together, and our beautiful sister Tammy, who's going to play at the end. And I just want to mention Tammy Scarlett has also been instrumental in what's coming to the Times Square program as well. And I want to thank her for her love and support of the Star Sisters and this program happening today too. So thank you. So Fumi, do you want to lead us in May Peace Prevail on Earth, dear sister?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. Oh, let's just open our hearts and embrace the hearts of our global family to send a message of peace and to ignite the divine spark of peace that lives in each and every one of our hearts. So let's together say 3 times together, may peace prevail on earth. Together. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth.
Ooh. Thank you all so much. And now we'll pass the beautiful moment over for more beauty with Tammy Briggs, a beautiful therapeutic harpist. Thank you so much.
Unity Earth TV, Unity Earth TV, Unity Earth, oh come on home. Unity Earth TV, Unity Earth TV, Unity Earth, we're coming home.
Look forward to your transition. It's the first time you will experience unconditional love. It will be all peace and love, and all the nightmares and the turmoil you went through in your life will be like nothing. When you make your transition, you're asked two things basically. How much love you have been able to give and receive, and how much service you have rendered. And you will know every consequence of every deed, every thought, and every word you have ever uttered. And that is symbolically speaking going through hell when you see how many chances you have missed. but you will also see how a nice act of kindness has touched hundreds of lives that you're totally unaware of. So concentrate on love while you're still around and teach your children early unconditional love. So remember, concentrate on love and look forward to the transition. It's the most beautiful experience you can ever imagine.